Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's been so long since I've actually done a real motovlog, so I'm actually very much excited to take out my Grom and just talk to you guys. This winter has been especially brutal. If it hasn't been, too cold, it's been snowing, or sometimes there's rain, or, even if it's sunny outside, there might be salt on the roads. So man, I am so ready to get this spring season started. With that being said, yeah, we're actually going to do a quick motovlog, and it's been a while since I've talked to you guys about my Grom here. Obviously, as you can see, there are a few little upgrades. The pipes, so we'll talk about that. We can also talk about the air intake that I just did yesterday. But yeah, let's get started. So I'm going to talk to you guys about the 4 mods that I've done to my Grom thus far, my 2022 Grom SP. And then with all those mods being done, the subject of the mods, especially performance mods, I really want to kind of dive into, does it make a difference? You can talk about like, well, it raised HP or torque by 10% or whatever. Like, that doesn't mean anything to me. What I really want to know at the end of the day, especially with a underpowered little bike like a Grom, do I feel a difference actually on the road? And then does it make a difference on the top end speed? So we'll do a few little tests and we'll talk about that. But first things first, let's talk about the levers that I put. I don't exactly remember the brand name of these levers. These are just some cheap levers that I found on Amazon or eBay, I think. Really cool because you can adjust the space that you want. So I like it kind of close, so I can set that. Not the highest quality, but it's a Grom. I honestly love the fact that, whatever mods I put on, if I don't like it, I can just put something else on and it's not that expensive. So yeah, I did that over the winter. Nothing big. And then this one, it was kind of cool. You can't really see it because my bag is sort of in the way, but I got a little tail rack for my Grom because, I don't want to always carry a backpack with me. So right now I have this tiny little bag kind of just on the rack. I also bought this off of eBay. I think the name is G-Craft. Came with some spacers and just put them on. Super simple modification. I think will go a long way over the course of me owning this Grom. Alright, so that's cool. I like this so far. Very sturdy, Alright, so let's talk about the exhaust. I think the last time you saw my Grom on the channel, I had the stock exhaust, but shortly thereafter, I ordered an Amazon exhaust for like $70, which was great for what it was, but everyone has an Amazon exhaust, and before the Amazon exhaust, I had purchased this Diablo exhaust for the Grom. And to be honest, there's probably not really a huge difference in the performance aspect, but one, I do like the look of this exhaust much better than the Amazon exhaust, and two, this exhaust actually sounds a little bit better to me. The Amazon exhaust was like just super one note, very much low end, but this Diablo exhaust has a little bit more balance to the sound, fullness, if you can say that. I can definitely hear like differences in the pitch and the noise. Really cool. But if performance is your main goal with the exhaust, like I think Amazon is perfectly fine, or you can go with Yoshimura. I think they might be slightly better in terms of performance. Let's see, what else? Last night, I think you might be able to see this, but I took out the air intake or the air box for the Grom and installed a man-in-the-box air intake. Took me about a couple hours. Like the biggest hassle was taking the air box off, the stock air box. Not difficult, but time intensive either way. But yeah, I installed the air intake last night, and so I'm kind of testing it out right now. Obviously, I took the bike over here, and we'll go for a little ride, and we'll kind of talk about, do I feel a difference between the exhaust, air intake? Also, I have a tuner, so I tuned it with the air intake and the exhaust and all that stuff. So yeah, let's get going. Man, it is so nice out. So the first thing that I should say, actually, you know what? Let me put this in neutral if I can find it. Finding neutral is a pain on the Grom. Obviously, when you get an exhaust, there's a difference in sound, obviously. But now that I have the air intake, I noticed a pretty noticeable difference in the sound and the lope of the exhaust. There's definitely a lope. And it just has a lot more body to the exhaust note now. I like it. I like it a lot. It sounds beefier. It sounds more angry. just all around sound wise, definitely great. So so there's a couple of ways you can go about modifying the Grom. You can do it all in one shot because the parts are so cheap. And if you do it all in one shot, you know, your best bet is probably to send in your ECU to get flashed by either, you know, MNNTHBX, or I think DHM Motoring is another one that does a really good job. So I'm fairly new to the Grom space, so I don't know all the other key players are in terms of like mods, tuning, etc. But those are the two, MNNTHBX and DHM are the ones that kind of people speak about time and time again. So yeah, you can do it all in one shot and send your ECU to get a tune, or the way that I went was I bought a powervision tuner, and that way I can kind of go at my own pace, if you will. So when I first got the bike, you know, it was all stock, but I still tuned it, and there was a noticeable difference. There was a little bit more pep. It also raised my RPM limit by 500 RPM, which was nice, and yeah, there was definitely a difference. It wasn't as sluggish on going uphill, etc. So that was cool. I definitely felt the difference. Again, these are like marginal differences, but you'll feel it. But again, if you're expecting like huge gains in horsepower or speed, top speed, you know, that's something that you're not really gonna find. Okay, and then I got the Amazon exhaust, and I thought that I would feel a bump in power, but I kind of didn't. Oh, I sort of did, but it didn't. You know, maybe I was expecting too much, and it didn't meet my expectation. But I will say there was a slight bump in power, but not as much as I thought it was going to have. So I'll say that. So then I was like, cool, you know, it's a Grom. You know, I wasn't like entirely disappointed. It's never going to be a speed demon, obviously. It's a Grom after all. So I was like, okay, cool, let's see what else I can do. And I got the intake, which is, you know, typically the stage 1 to pair with the exhaust. And then I tuned it last night, and I'm kind of testing it out and seeing if I can feel a difference. And already, you know, there is a noticeable difference. And I'll talk a little bit about where I can feel the difference. On the low end, so far, I don't really feel a huge difference. If anything, I think I might have dropped a little bit of low end. But so far, what I can feel is kind of in that maybe like the 5 to 9,000 RPM. There's definitely an increase in torque, an increase in pep like this. Man, I love that sound. Sounds really good. There's a pretty decent jump between the 5,000 and 9,000 RPM. You know, I'm just kind of going by gut. Let's test this out again. Alright guys, so you saw what happened. I rode around for a while and was just talking, and my GoPro ate up the footage, but I guess what I can say is there definitely is a difference that I can feel, so I'm pretty happy about that. Definitely between 6,000 RPM and above, I can feel a difference, and it's a real difference. Am I still happy with the performance? You know, it's hard to say. I could always use a little bit more speed on that Grom, so I think I might have to do cams next. So that might be coming, but I just wanted to say thank you all for joining. I'm sorry about the GoPro footage. I reformatted my SD card, hoping that solves the issue, but we'll see. But I'm going to bounce out of here. Until next time, I'll check you all in the next video. Peace.